Hello, hello. Here we are again. This is River Radio, and this is Rani Singh with a missing question. And a big, big treat for you in the big interview hour. We will have Najma Akhtar, singer-songwriter, legendary name, legendary voice, and she will be previewing her latest album, Five Rivers, and we'll be hearing some of the tracks on there. So, as Thunderbirds fades into the background, I better tell you you're listening to River Radio. I have Najma Akhtar on the show, and so welcome, Najma. Are you with us?
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on, Najma, and giving us the exclusive on Five Rivers.
You're welcome.
Now, I played that deliberately, but it also links into your work, Najma, because we're going to talk about the inception of Five Rivers and play a few tracks, I hope.
Well, Five Rivers actually has a lot of inspirational ideas from Western music. My music is generally the ghazal, which is Urdu poetry. And I was exploring the synergies that exist between the lyrics, the poetry, between Eastern and Western poetry. What were the similarities? What were the dissimilarities? And yes, you're touching on a subject which is death. Very interestingly enough, the ghazal, the Urdu romantic ballad, does not generally sing about, the poets do not write about death. Generally speaking, the popularization of Urdu ghazal is about love, unrequited love, and the beauty of women, and getting lost in the drowning your sorrows in wine. But they never touch on death. They do touch on Sufism and spirituality, but I found that the poetry of Death Don't Have No Mercy by Reverend Gary Davis was extremely unusual for my area of music. And that's why I decided I would actually go for this song and try and cover it in my own way. So the album Five Rivers is a journey. It's a musical journey, a cultural journey, a poetical journey that crosses from east to west, exploring, as I just said, all the poetries. And I've taken Five Rivers as the basic premise, using that as my sort of vehicle, if you like, because the music is coming from the countries that have inspired me. For example, I use a bit of African sense in it because I performed in the festival in the desert in Mali many years back, and I've been influenced by a lot of African music, and then crossing over to the River Thames because I'm a Londoner born in the UK, and then looking at the Irish-Scottish connection, and obviously the poetry is very similar to ghazal. I took the song "Black Is the Color of My True Love's Hair," which is a very poetical song, and then crossing the big pond to the Delta area, Mississippi, the Delta blues, and exploring those kind of nuances, because I worked with Gary Lucas, who was an amazing guitarist, introducing me to various blues.
Well, why don't we play one of your songs? I was going to start with Black is the Color, but would you like me to go to Death Has No Mercy?
Let's try and be a bit romantic. I think Death Don't Have No Mercy. Mercy is kind of. I think your choice was perfect. So let's just go with Black is the Color.
Okay, and then afterwards you can tell me where it came from.
Of course.
I'll be playing about sort of not the complete songs, just so we can get through quite a few, if you'll forgive me.
No problem.
Black is the color of my true love's hair. Her lips are like some roses fair. She has the sweetest smile and the gentlest hands, and I love the ground whereon she stands. I love my love, and well she knows. I love the ground whereon she goes. I wish the day it soon would come when she and I could be as one. Black is the color of my true love's hair. Her lips are like some roses fair. She has the sweetest smile and the gentlest hands. And I love the ground whereon she stands. I love the ground whereon she stands. I love, 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 love. I love the ground whereon she stands. I love the ground where she
Black is the Colour. Now, that was written and composed by you, Najma Akhtar, talking to me today in the Big Interview Hour. Najma, is that John Deemer's bass guitar in the background there?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
yes.
I've interviewed him, haven't I?
I think you have, yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. It just moves my whole body. Tell us about the inception of this song.
Well, it was one of the songs that was presented to me by a friend called David Wilkins. And he said, why don't you have a go at singing this song? Now, this is actually a folk song. And when you say composed, I actually, you talk about improvisation, the arrangement, it was kind of all done by the band and myself. But it's a love song. And I listened to the lyrics. It's very, very emotional. And it's a pining, unrequited love song. And it is similar to a ghazal. The lyrics are basically, I called it an English ghazal. A man is pining, or a woman is pining for their love. Sweetheart, and many ghazals in Urdu are also written by male poets, and referring to the woman being has gone and broken my heart. But many females also sing the same ghazal, and they don't necessarily change the gender of the lyric. And I found this was really very, very similar and so melodic, romantic. And I thought, well, I have to make it a bit more of mine. So the improvisation, which got a little bit of an Indian touch, I included the duff, the Indian drummed instrument, similar to the Irish boran. And this song, I mean, because it comes from Ireland and Scotland, it just the journey of the gypsies, bringing over the poetry, the essence, the romanticism, the language, everything kind of all, and the voice, the soul. I heard a couple of versions on YouTube as well. Each one so different from each other, but yet conveying that message of unrequited love. And it was just a perfect ghazal for me.
And you do that sexy thing with your voice. What's it called when you move it around between the notes?
Intonations. I think it's just the.
And then you slide from one to the other.
Yes, true, true. And that leads me to an inspiration I received. Again, another song was sent to me, a song from the 20s, Memphis Minnie, this blues singer from 1920s. And I saw it on YouTube and I thought, the person who sent it to me said, oh, it's rather like an Indian song. She's wailing in the middle. She's wailing, like that. And I said, oh, gosh. So I listened to it a couple of times and I thought, wow, this is Delta blues. This is, the hardcore blues. Mm. And so I based my song called Crying Crazy around Memphis Minnie's version. I took a lot of inspiration from her. And I tried to make it more Indian by putting various vocal improvisations within it and changing the lyrics.
Indeed. And now tell me about Young Girl Blues. Or actually, shall I play it first and then you tell us about it?
Saturday night, it feels like a Sunday in some ways. If you had any sense, you'd maybe go away for a few days. Be that as it may, you can only say you were lonely. You are but a young girl, working your way through the follies. You touch, but not too much. You hear it's degrading. The flowers on your stocking wilting away in the midnight. The book you are reading is one man's opinion of moonlight. Your skin is so white, you like maybe to go to bed soon. Just closing your eyes if you to rise up before noon. High heels, car wheels, all the losers are grooving. Your dreams, strange scenes, images are
Young Girl Blues, and I left that playing a bit. I love that thing that you do with the voice, Najma. Can you do it for me now a little bit, please?
Oh no,
Oh,
that's putting me on the spot. You'll have to come to my concert.
I will. I was just going to mention that. Come on, tell us when it is.
Yeah, so it's at the Pizza Express Holborn Live, and it's on the 4th of September. It's with my band, and I'll be doing songs from the album Five Rivers, and I'll also be doing a few other songs that are maybe from my past albums or some improvisational stuff. So it'll be a bit of a surprise. So I do hope people can come after hearing this music, because I really would love to get this message across of diversity and poetry. And the album was recorded in 2020, but due to lockdown, it was the launch was postponed, and everything has happened. It's all been delayed. Oddly enough, I was going to just call it a day on it. And then a friend of mine said, no, you've worked so hard on this. You need to at least give it a chance, do a couple of shows and try and get some interviews on the radio. So thank you, Rani, and thank you to River Radio for allowing me and giving me the opportunity to talk about my album. But I really hope that people will be inspired by hearing the tracks you play to come to the show on the 4th of September in London. Young Girl Blues.
Go on.
Sorry.
Go on.
Yes, I was just going to explain about Young Girl Blues, because you before the song you wanted me to explain it. This song is written by Donovan, wonderful artist. I have great respect and admiration for, and on the Five Rivers has a number of covers on it, and are by very noted musicians and artists. Young Girl Blues is an unusual song for me in that, quite a few of them on the album are unusual for me, because my theme, as I said earlier, is the ghazal, romantic, unrequited love. And this song is leaning towards depression. And I didn't really understand it in the beginning, but my friend kindly explained, and about a young girl who comes to a big city, any city in the world, and is all alone and working her way through her life there, meeting friends that are, phonies and pretend to be something they're not. And it touches on drugs. It touches, it's quite deep. So at the end of the day, it's about depression, and the young girl at the end of the day is stuck in her room by herself. I've used the word London because I'm obviously live in London, so I've used that in the song.
Thank you.
And then you hear a siren going by as well in the back. And that was really strange, because when I was recording it, my microphone in the demo picked up the siren, and I thought, wow, that's really indicating danger. So I kind of kept that in the song. So if you hear the siren, it's not from outside, it's actually on the recording.
That's terrific. And I do apologize for asking you to demo that on air. That is a bit rude, because I know you have to do lots and lots of warm-up exercises and so on. It's just that I am very mesmerized by that thing that you do with your voice, and I only hear it from you, and you always do it.
Thank you.
So and was that the rock violin of Ben Coleman?
No, Ben has actually played on 2 tracks, and that was Black is the Color and You Upset the Grace of Living. That was the violin of Chris Haig, a wonderful all-rounder violinist who writes and teaches violin. So he's on all of the tracks.
Yes. Great. Well, I know you work very carefully with your band, and most of them have been with you for years and years, and it shows, actually. So let's go back to Crying Crazy, please.
Okay. So this is Crossing the Pond and Delta Blues, Memphis Mini, inspired by Memphis Mini. And I tried to bring in the thing that you like, the alarp, the vocal improvisation, and got lovely guitar playing from Ramon Goose, and lovely guitars, violins from Chris Haig, and of course John Dima on the bass. And I've got a little bit of tabla in there as well. And Matt Fisher's doing fantastic job with the percussion and rhythm.
Crying Crazy by Najma Akhtar, and that was another great one there. Now let's go to Death now.
Yeah, that's
if we
cool.
may.
I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So give us an intro to this one, because this is the one I want to play.
Well, Death Don't Have No Mercy, written and composed by Reverend Gary Davis. And as I said earlier, I thought this was very dark. And, you know, when you think about the slave trade and how people were treated all those years back, you know, farming, and death was something that they really had to look towards, really. The lifespan was most probably quite short. And I was sent the actual song, Reverend Gary Davis singing it. I thought, well, I can sing it. But actually, when I came to singing it, I couldn't do it the way Reverend Gary Davis was doing it. And I thought, well, then my friend said, no, you have to do it in your way. You have to interpret it the way you bring the Najmaness to it and try and do it in your way. So then I kind of let go of his version, and then I did it in my way with my style. And it's turned out it works as a duo, a trio, or with my full band. And yeah, it's a very sad song. And this is the total opposite to a ghazal. A ghazal romantic Urdu poem never talks about death. It's really the unrequited love. And then I've used the Indian harmonium in the solo piece as well. So it's very kind of bluesy, Delta blues, that style. Same like Crying Crazy, got that bluesy style. And Ramon Goose has played amazing guitars on this one as well.
Well, death don't have no mercy in this land. Well, death don't have no mercy in this land, but he'll come to your house and he won't stay long. Look in your bed and find your mama gone. Death don't have no mercy in this land. Well, he won't give you time to get ready in this land. Well, he won't give you time to get ready in this land, but he'll come to your house and he won't stay long. Look in your bed and find your father gone. He won't give you time to get ready in this land. Will he leave you standing and crying in this land? Will he leave you standing and crying in this land? But he'll come to your house and he won't stay long. Look in your bed and find your sister gone. He'll leave you standing and crying in this land. takes a vacation in this land. Well, death never takes a vacation in this land. But you come to your house and you won't stay long. Look in your bed and find somebody gone. Death never takes a vacation in this land. Well, death don't have no mercy in this land. Oh no. Well, death don't have no mercy in this land.
Perfect. Death hath no mercy. Thank you, Najma. Let's see if we can get some more tracks in. Tell us about Season of the Witch.
Season of the Witch. This is another song by Donovan, and it's it's kind of a haunting song, leading into I would say I'm just trying to find the right word, into the mysticism of the person you're trying to find, and it's quite heavy on the rock, and I thought, okay, let me do this one. It's again inspired by Donovan, so it's his take on the world out there, and you got to pick up everything and don't miss a thing. Similar to Young Girl Blues, because people are trying to be something they're not. They're striving in this world. They're rushing about, and everyone's trying to not miss a trick. Everyone's trying to be someone different. You got to pick up every stitch. Everyone's running like little rabbits. So I like that idea. You could say it's a love song about life. Life's in a rush, and you're trying to do so many things in the short amount of time that you have. And when you try to do so many things, you tend to be people that you're not. You tend to be phonies. You tend to, talk big when you're not really that big. It's about that.
Tell me something. Ghazal is about unrequited love, right?
Mm-hmm. Ghazal is about unrequited love that's lost, yearning for love.
Have you ever felt that, Najma?
Yeah, a few times. Yeah, I have.
Thank you. That's a really honest answer.
I think we all have felt that. I mean, when you're going to ask me, I think a lot of people have loved and lost, and love comes in many forms. It's love for friends, love for your sweetheart, your father or mother, and love is lost. When someone passes away, like you mentioned earlier about your Polish friend, and
George Staworski, yes.
And love, was it Titania who was speaking earlier on about life and depression and dealing with things, and so love, unrequited love it's about romanticism, and it's about your sweetheart, your pining, but it's an open book. It can be love for anything, love for a particular song, or love for God, or love for spirituality. It's so vast. Love is unrequited love. To me, is not just about losing your sweetheart, but it's about losing anything that you yearn for and that you love.
Thank you. Now here's Season of the Witch, Najma Akhtar.
When I look out my window, many sights to see. And when I look in my window, so
Season of the Witch with Najma Akhtar. Today, you're listening to River Radio on the web, on the mobile, on Alexa. Head over to the website to download the show in about 10 minutes or so. And you can also find us on various podcast platforms. We have been listening to news reporter, the BBC's Barney Chaudhry, news correspondent, should I say, to be correct, now a professor at the University of East Anglia, but still popping up in the newsroom and doing lots there. He's a hero. Then we had Joe Sidhu, QC, barrister, criminal barrister, talking about the strikes that the barristers are going to be doing and coercive control laws and so on. Then we had Dr. Tatiana Rosen from Henley Business School, great favourite on the show, talking about the psychological effects of what's going on in the news. And now we are fortunate to be having with us Najma Akhtar. Now, the next one is one of my favourites, Najma. And while I try and find the right place to go from, I want you to talk about it, please. And while we do that, please excuse me if it suddenly bursts into music. But anyway, you carry on. Just ignore me.
Yeah, so the track I think you're going to play is called Dancing Waltz. It's based on rag. Rag is a particular scale of notes within the Indian Asian music. Bhim Palasi is the rag. And it's a ghazal. It's bilingual. I wrote it in Urdu, and then I thought, why not write a verse in English? And it's Dancing Waltz because it's in Dadra, which is 6-beat rhythm cycle. And I bring in the tabla, I bring in sargam, which is the scatting of the notes of the raga towards the end. And it's a bilingual ghazal, I would call it. And I have to say, listening to all these songs that you're playing of mine, it just, I listen to the percussion and I'm in awe of my band, the wonderful percussion from Matt Fisher. He plays tabla, he plays kit, he plays kahun, he plays so many other things, which is just absolutely breathtaking. And my bass player, John Dima, and then I'm listening to Chris Haig on violin and Ramon Goose on guitars, and they're lovely. The album is available on all the sites on Amazon, and you can hear on Spotify. You can buy it from my website as well. It's actually on vinyl. I decided to do a vinyl version because they were saying there's this a vinyl day where you can, it's a vinyl revival. So I've got a lovely tailored version in vinyl. It's so lovely to pick up a vinyl copy. I don't know people from the old school, whether they like the CDs or vinyl. I love vinyl.
Lovely.
So it's available on all the platforms. But yeah, Dancing Waltz is a beautiful ghazal.
Okay, and then we'll do a sign-off with you after that and hear about how to get tickets for the Pizza Express. And let's do a quick hello to Adam as well. Adam, do you like the music that you've been listening to?
Good morning. Yes, I love it. You've had such a great show this morning. Oh, fabulous.
Thank you.
Fabulous music. Great choices.
And we're going out with Dancing Waltz.
Yes.
the second half of Dancing Waltz by Najma Akhtar, and such a beautiful song. And you even put in there an exercise that we do as well, or you do.
Yes,
you
yes.
do.
The sargam, it's the scatting of the notes of the raga.
Yes. And you play the Indian harmonium there as well.
I do, yes, I did, yes.
I've never heard you play it before, Najma. I've known you for a while, and it's utterly beautiful. Lots of middle-class Asian girls and boys learn it as children, but it's beautiful.
That's right.
the way you play it.
Thank you so much.
So remind us again, Najma, there about the Pizza Express.
Oh, yes, I'm really excited. It's at the Pizza Express jazz venue in Holborn, and it's on the 4th of September, so it's pretty close. You can get tickets on pizzaexpresslive.com//Najma Akhtar, and I'm on Facebook, and I have a fan page, and of course YouTube, Najma Akhtar YouTube channel, Najma Akhtar Official, and then you can hear the music that I will be performing.
On the 4th of September, I will be there, Najma. Thank you very much indeed for coming on, and please do come on again. We'll be playing out, if we've got time, with one of your last tracks, Red Balloon. But thank you, Najma Akhtar, for very, very much for coming on. Lots of love.
Lots of love. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you too.
Thank you.
Rani.
We will, as we exchange seats, we will ring out with Najma Akhtar's Red Balloon, and look forward to seeing you all on The Missing Question next week on River Radio at 10 a.m.
Myself a red balloon, got a blue surprise, hidden in the red balloon, beaming of my eyes, took the love light from my eyes, blue surprise. Bought myself a red balloon, got a blue surprise.